All right, I don't know why YouTube recommended this video to me since I don't normally watch things like this. But this video has a lot of views on it. And since I have had three different people cancel on me for today, including the latest one just a couple minutes ago while I was working on this video. And you know what I did? I did a screenshot of this video and I sent it to her. Because at some point she has to come to the realization that this has to stop. And she doesn't seem to take the hint. As A said, ass, gas, or grass, nobody rides for free. And there are a lot of women in this world who just don't adhere to that think that people should just be nice to them and help them just because. So here's my introductory monologue for this video. I used to think the friend zone was just a harmless thing. Like, oh, he's just a friend. He doesn't mind helping out. But the truth, it wasn't harmless. It was selfish. And men, they finally caught on. They're done being the backup plan, the emotional support without the relationship, the guy who's there when no one else is. I don't know how many girls I've had to deal with while they were crying after they got fired, or they couldn't afford their bills, or they were having a fight with a person that they claimed that they weren't dating. This has been going on my entire life. And I don't know why I'm always that guy. I'm always the guy that's there to pick them up, and never the guy that's there to get some loving, because you're not that kind of guy. And I had to have this discussion with this person just a couple days ago. So that's why suggesting this video to me. And she just posted this video yesterday. And somehow YouTube knows that I'm a grade A loser and therefore recommended this video to me, while probably at the same time listening to me dealing with this person in real time. So it suggested these three main talking points: the rise of awareness and boundaries among men, the changing expectations in male female relationships, and the lesson for both genders. Because she won't stop text messaging me now, and it's a huge paragraph. So whatever it says in there, I'm not interested. In fact, I am going to go ahead. I am not going to read that message. Oh, this isn't. This is from Salon Girl number two, because she called to cancel. She called me at 7:30, um, because she was having problems at home, and her boss told her to call me, to text me at home, to let me know that she wasn't planning on coming into the salon today. Which, another case of women needing help right there. In real time, you guys heard the phone ring for another woman that wants to be that person. Anyhow, let's get into our main talking points. They're kind of longer talking points that I would like, but they don't make sense shortened up. So, men have become increasingly aware of the dynamics of the friend zone, thanks in part to discussions on social media and shared experiences. They now recognize when they're being taken for granted and are setting up boundaries to protect their time. Everything about dealing with these people who friend zone you and send you yellow hearts it's a ruse. And since most men are single men, it works really easy against them. Either you're going to spend your time at home twiddling your thumbs, or you're going to spend your time helping them put together furniture, helping them pick out furniture, helping them remove furniture. And that's all you are, is you come in, you do something for them, and then you get out. Because that's all they want you for. They don't want you hanging out. They're not interested in doing anything beyond very simple things like going out to eat, and you pay every single time. But aside from that, they have zero interest in you as a human being. And it sucks because it's a false sense of security on your fault, because when you need something, they're never around. In fact, I haven't talked to this person, the one that I just sent this video to, in 3 days. Once she got what she wanted, it's like you disappear until they need something else. They need help for something else that they can't afford because they're unemployed and they can't find any job. And you start to think, it's like, well, what am I getting out of this? And the fact is, you're getting next to nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the great way that this works and the way that we see it in our current society is any girl that sets up an OnlyFans, or she's hoping that her simps will come over to her Twitch stream and give her money because of the way that she looks. And it's not fair. But I think more men are coming to the realization that being a simp for an e-girl, it doesn't work for you. In fact, this is the ultimate guy. He was 55 years old. He was desperately lonely. I think he came into some money from like a car accident or something. Then he met a girl who used him for all that car accident money. And then when he didn't have money anymore, she divorced him. And so after that, he would spend the next 10 years of his life meeting e-girls. And this is how far they took it. When he would tell him, because remember, he's a minimum wage cashier at a Kroger's. He doesn't have a whole lot of money. But these e-girls would ask for him to send screenshots of his bank account showing he couldn't afford to give them money. As in ever meeting them in real life? No. These girls were not interested. They were purely there for whenever they needed something, needed money. And they have a lot of guys like this. You're not the only one. Most of these girls are going to have anywhere from 10 to 100 different guys that they're trying to take money from. And they may do, who knows what they do online. I don't even want to know what they do online. But the reality is that men need to wake up and stop supporting e-girls because you're not getting anything out of it. In fact, I think that it should be to the point where it's not legal because men are so susceptible to this type of scam that it should be illegal. Being a gold digger should not be allowed as a profession. Being an e-girl is not a profession. It's a scam. All right, moving on to talking point number 2. Women who previously relied on the friend zone dynamics are finding that men are no longer as willing to offer favors without replication. I've never used that word before. Replication, and that meaning you give me something, I give you something, and if you're not giving me something, then there's no reciproc. I can't say this word. Reciprocation. I should have looked up this word. I've never seen this word before, and I guess I shouldn't have tried reading it on in the video without knowing how to properly say it. But I looked at it and I thought it was just going to be really easy. But again, English isn't my first language, so when I run into words that I've never heard said before, they really get me. And this is one of those words that has got me. And I just keep looking at it. My brain can't process this word. Reciprocation? Okay. Anyhow, we know what that word means. It means you're on the barter system, ladies. If you were going to ask for resources, be prepared to grab your ankles. Because if you think that he's not interested, he wouldn't be hanging around. That's how you know men are interested. They may think that right now you're not ready. Maybe you're waiting for something to happen. Maybe you're waiting for things to get worse. Maybe you're just thinking that after a while he'll get bored and go away. It's not that easy. Men don't meet women every day. In fact, men don't meet women every year. And for some men, they don't meet women in their entire lives. Especially not the kind that are going to that word for things like groceries, plane tickets, or bills, day-to-day run-of-the-mill bills. And so when women run into these men, it's like, well, help me out that one time. And then that one time becomes, oh, I want this, or I want these shoes, or I want these earrings. Eventually, that guy's going to get a lot poorer, and he's going to start seeing you in a very negative light. Because the more you ask and the less you give of the other three things that we already mentioned, devil's lettuce, rear end, or gas money, the less likely they are going to be to stick around, because it's taken a while, but simping isn't for most men. The fact that most men just don't have the money, it means that they're sacrificing for the thing that they want, right? You're paying for it regardless. Life is about two things: rear end and money. And that's it. There's no other things in life, because you sacrifice to get the rear. And if you're not getting the rear, why are you sacrificing? The dynamics of interactions between men and women have always been incredibly simple. You give this, you give back. When one party stops giving, and this can come down to even your time and energy, once you stop giving, then it becomes one sided. That's where it becomes toxic. And that's where you, as the woman, need to walk away. Don't wait for him to walk away. Walk away. Because all you're doing is turning yourself into a lady of the night, and it's fake. And how do I put this? It's the only fair thing to do. And we don't live in a fair world. We don't get paid fair wages. We don't have fair amounts of time off. Nothing in our lives is fair. So this whole toxic relationship in platonic relationships, it is completely toxic. Both people need to walk away and just say, this isn't going to work because it's not what I want. Sure, it's going to make your life a lot lonelier as a woman, because now you realize every man you come into contact with, regardless of how you see him, has an active system between his legs. And believe me, it wants action all the time. And by claiming that you're going to have a relationship in which there's just give but no take, it doesn't work. And as soon as men feel that, the tougher they are, the more they realize, you know what, it's time to cut her off and get her out of here. Talking point number 3. The breakdown of the friend zone highlights the importance of why do they keep using this word, reciprocity, in all relationships. For women, it's a call to avoid exploiting kindness. That's what it comes down to. Exploiting kindness. Because if he's going to be kind with his finances, you better be kind with that tushy. Because men don't come to bring resources for kindness. Men are very physical when it comes to overall desires, and they can't turn them off. Men, at the end of the day, are animals. They have a built-in system for playtime, and women just aren't interested in that. But guess what they are interested in? Resources. I don't understand why it keeps using a word that I can't pronounce readily. Reciprocity it's a fascinating word, and in a sense it means you're going to do a fair share. If you're not going to provide resources, there's only one resource that you can provide as a woman. And it may not be something you like, it may not be something you want to do. But if you're going to give resources, and then you're going to act surprised when he stops responding to your text messages, when he stops asking you to hang out, and when you realize that You guys aren't friends anymore. That's really when women finally open their eyes. It's like, oh, there used to be this guy that helped me out, but suddenly he's not answering the phone. He's not going to block your number because he doesn't want to come off that way. But what you are going to notice is that he's around a lot less. He's not he's not responding to your calls for resources. That's going to end. Your time isn't valuable to him. Your your behaviors, the little things that you keep him hooked, the sending him text messages or sending little pictures here and there, that's not going to work long term. There's just too many there's too many people out there who would rather, and in my opinion, be alone rather than giving resources to something that's a dead end. And that's what these women are. They're dead ends when it comes to giving resources. In fact, I was talking to my gym school teacher friend this morning because I was asking her about the last video I made. And I said to her, school teacher, so you've been single for about 15 years now, right? She's probably in her mid 60s. She's been teaching high school her whole life. And I asked her, it's like, if you were going to meet a man and he could either be one of two, he could be very attractive and then have a very low status job, or he could be extremely unattractive and have a high status job. And she straight up told me, Millennial Steam, I would never date a low status man. He must have resources. He must be mentally stable. He must be financially stable. Whether or not he has additional children from other women, she didn't care because she has children from a previous marriage. So that wasn't even a factor. What it came down to was stability. That was the key word. In the 10 minutes that I talked to her about making this video, she had no concrete answers for me whatsoever. Because I asked her if it was just about looks, and she said no. But what if he's unattractive? Then it's still no. And I kept trying to reach this Goldilocks zone with her where he had to be this much or this much this way. And what it came down to in the entire conversation was stability. Women don't want to take care of men. And so this is that dynamic in a nutshell. Women don't want to take care of men, but women also don't want to take care of men when it comes to the pushing, the old bump and dump. So now men are left in this precarious position of, well, what do I do? Do I invest my stable resources into a thing that's never going to go anywhere? Or do I just stay perpetually single and I keep my money and I don't have to deal with that crazy beep, beep, beep anymore? As soon as I sent her this video about 20 minutes ago, zero communication. And that title was enough to make her realize if she's watching this video, then she realized very quickly that her goose was cooked. But we'll see, because sometimes women don't take the hint very well, because her losing these resources are going to impact her life very much so. Anyhow, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, not exactly certain why I'm getting recommended these particular topics, but as you guys have seen, I have plenty of time to make videos, and I don't have many other things to do. When you had 3 women cancel on you in one day, you're just like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to do right now. I think I'm going to go down to Trader Joe's and look at a product that one of my subscribers recommended. David Hoffman recommended going to Trader Joe's. Then I'm going to go tan, and then I'm going to go, where else am I going to go? There's one other place. Oh, I'm going to the chiropractor. And then once I get done with that stuff, then I'll swing back around and make another video. See what you guys have to say. Because I'm very curious about what's going to be in the comments in this section. Even if you never comment before, drop down a comment because I want to hear what you have to say. All right. Also, like and recommend this my channel to your friends. Tell your friends that I'm funny because I try to be funny.